The next morning, the wheels of time kept turning, and the city was as bustling and crowded as usual. Everyone at MK Company was chatting lively with each other. Did you see it? Yesterday's viewership rating was 34%. They said that recently the viewership for an episode reached as high as 30%. In stark contrast to that energy, Kong Lee looked extremely lifeless in his room, and his mood was far from good. The more the young man thought about it, the sadder he became. Yesterday in the representative's office, hearing that she had a boyfriend, I was quite surprised. But to be honest, deep down, I was very confident. Why? Because up until now, I have always been liked by everyone. From the moment I was born until now, I have lived a life admired by those around me. Recently, I also became the hottest male actor, the dream of many women named Kong Lee. I was confident I could win the heart of any girl, even if she already had a boyfriend, but... The young man felt disheartened and said, I never expected that this time the one possessing that flower is the boss pro level S. If the two of them were to play soccer together, even if that person stood still, it would be like a defensive wall made of iron. This situation is truly beyond my capability. Then suddenly, there was a sound of the door opening. The young man turned to look and exclaimed, Sura! I didn't expect you to show up here. She softly said, Kong Lee, is it alright if I come in? I still haven't prepared myself mentally, Kong screamed internally, but he warmly said to the female lead, of course, come in. Sura began, have you heard about the viewership ratings? 30.4%. Oh yes, everyone on set was talking about it. It just aired and already got 30.4%, truly the power of Senior Se-young-heon, Kong Lee replied politely. As he spoke, he suddenly remembered the image of the male lead warning him yesterday to stay away from Sura. The young man became involuntarily sad, and the female lead noticed Kang's heavy-hearted expression and said, you must have been very surprised yesterday, right? The young man hesitated for a long time before answering, to be honest, extremely, I was really very surprised. Sura was taken aback by his response. Yes, it must have been quite a shock, she explained. Senior Se-young has a straightforward nature, so he probably struggled a lot having to sit and wait. Because he speaks bluntly and abruptly, he was afraid that if he didn't show up, you'd go too far with your jokes. You like to tease and enjoy making others flustered. Even so, it doesn't mean you're a weirdo or mentally unstable. After hearing this, Kong Lee suddenly became humble. The young man could only manage a wry smile. Sura awkwardly said, what did I just say? Anyway, it's not that Senior has anything against you, that's why he did it. That's what I meant to say. Sorry. All her words were just excuses for the Senior, and hearing them, the young man began to blame himself. He felt utterly humiliated. Kong thought about the long scenes still ahead. It's all because of my selfishness, wanting to quickly express my feelings to her, which made her uncomfortable. Yet, she always considers my feelings like this. I shouldn't make a fool of myself any further. Finally, he decided to end it all and softly said, Sister, I'm fine. So, you don't need to worry too much. Then he continued, I'm the one who should ask Senior Kang Se-young-heon for forgiveness for such a grave mistake. Thinking back, I was lucky to be safely thrown out after confessing to someone's girlfriend in the representative's office. It was truly miraculous. And yesterday was the first time I saw Senior's face up close. Even a guy like me was moved by that beauty, just a slight glance, that expression. She took the opportunity to vent her anger, bad-mouthing her poor boyfriend. Trust? What trust? He couldn't even wait a moment before rushing over. Is that what you call trust? Kong, with his exceptional communication skills, defended, that action shouldn't be seen as a lack of trust in you. Perhaps he was just afraid of losing you because his opponent was me. Then he seemed embarrassed by his own boastful words. Am I being too delusional? Besides, Senior Se-young didn't know the cafe was just the two of us, but he still dared to come. He did it, even knowing that if someone saw, it would be me. I would never do that. Kang's casual remark made Sura reflect on him. Sometimes she couldn't understand if he acted on impulse, was confident they wouldn't be caught, or neither. Maybe he didn't care if their relationship was made public. She was still deep in thought when Kang's question interrupted her. Oh, right, about you and Senior dating, I absolutely won't say a word. So, tell him not to worry. I'm pretty good at keeping secrets. Seeing Sura's lack of reaction made him nervous, and he said, does my rambling seem untrustworthy? A second later, Kang was wide-eyed with amazement at Sura's convincing response. I trust you. Thank you, Kang, truly. He froze for a moment, then replied awkwardly, no need to thank me. I should apologize for making things so chaotic. That's what I meant, sis. I know this might be awkward, but please continue to treat me comfortably like a younger brother. As a colleague, I really like you too. Faced with Kang's sincere enthusiasm, Sura didn't hesitate and happily accepted his affection, of course. After she opened the door to leave, his manager came in and reminded him, Kang, why are you still here? You need to move to the filming location. Before he could finish his sentence, he was shocked to notice, are you crying? Kang, wiping away his tears, awkwardly replied, I'm just really moved by the viewership hitting 30%. But his manager quickly realized that look was a clear lie. He was probably in shock because his manager already knew about Kang's confession yesterday. He affectionately patted Kang's head and said, it's okay, kid. First love is always like this. Everyone has to taste failure at some point. A life filled only with success isn't good either. These comforting words hit the spot, and Kang couldn't help but agree, that's true. On the contrary, it was a fortunate late first love, but that person was wonderful. Thinking of this, Kang made a suggestion, hey. Even so, in the end, I'm still pretty cool, right? Like a mature person. His manager continued to encourage him, yes, even though I can't see it, I'm sure you are. Everywhere, on every street and in every alley, the topic of conversation for the past few days has been about The Line. Did you watch The Line yesterday? Yeah, it was amazing. Recently, my hobby has been watching The Line. Yeah, because it's really good. The show has even reached young students still in school, who can't stop praising it. Hey, I even subscribed to the YouTube channel just to watch The Line. At first, I watched it because of Kang Se-young-hyun, but then I really started liking the actress Sura. Oh right, when Wang Sura auditioned with the star-studded cast, I thought the director was just mixing in a newbie, but she acted so well and was so beautiful. I even saved her pictures. She has become a trendsetter among women. This is the lipstick Wang Sura used when she appeared in The Line. Oh right. It's very popular these days, haven't you watched it yet? You should, it's really interesting. The two girls continued chatting. Today, while walking, I must have heard the theme song from The Line about 10 times. My sister has been quite influential lately. Is that show really that captivating? You're the only one who hasn't seen it. I want to buy everything Wang Sura wears in The Line. I do too, everything looks so good. Oh, and I heard Wang Sura has been in the industry for 7 years. It's amazing that this was kept hidden until now, isn't it? Really? I thought you had seen her debut MV from 14 years ago. The two girls, engrossed in their conversation, bumped into a man on the street and quickly apologized. They boldly made predictions. These days, every time I meet someone, they mention The Line at least once. I bet it will sweep all the awards by the end of the year. Wang Sura is definitely going to be at the top. Meanwhile, at the entertainment company's headquarters, there was cheerful chatter. This is really tricky. Media outlets are constantly requesting interviews with our actors. Deciding who to send is quite the dilemma, one staff member remarked. Se-young-hyun also smiled happily. Someone asked, you look very happy, representative? He didn't hesitate to admit, of course I'm happy. The show is being so well received. Especially, the audience's response to Sura has been phenomenal. Interviews and advertisements are pouring in daily. If things continue like this, it will be a major turning point in Sura's career. Hearing this, Se-young-hyun suddenly remembered, then we need to quickly schedule a fan meeting for her. As he glanced at Sura's picture published in the newspaper, he couldn't help but smile. Wang Su, sensing an opportunity to probe, remarked, now that you mention it, Kang Se-young-hyun, you must be a bit concerned about Sura surpassing you and leading the search rankings, right? Despite asking this, Wang Su already had his suspicions. When he carefully observed, he noticed that Se Young-hyun's face looked even happier than when his own film was successful. He recalled the incident in the hallway a few days ago and immediately questioned, "By the way, it seems like you and Kong have been getting along well recently. How did you manage to sort that out?" The male lead remembered the image of Kong pleading at the last company party, saying, "Senior, please forgive me. I didn't know she was your girlfriend, so I committed an unforgivable mistake." This memory made Se Young-hyun smile involuntarily. At that moment, everyone was surprised and gathered around to eavesdrop. "What's going on?" "I was standing behind, so I couldn't see." After responding calmly, "Is that so?" Kong and everyone had a fun, boisterous night together. Thinking about this, Se Young-hyun stammered a reply, "Well, if it weren't for Sura, there wouldn't be any personal reason." Se Young-hyun concluded with, "Kong is adorable, and he's fun to hang out with," leaving Wang Su speechless with his mouth agape. "What?" Although Kang's reaction is adorable, don't overplay it. After Se Young bid farewell, he quickly reminded, "Wait a moment, Kong also needs to be at the filming location." "What are you doing?" The decisive statement to help out, coupled with Se Young-hyun's friendly demeanor, elicited a smile from Wang Su that couldn't be more pleased. At the film set, the director's instructions resounded, "Cut, cut." How many times do we need to repeat this line, stumbling like stuffing words into someone's mouth? What attempt is this? Despite the supporting actor's sincere apologies, bowing deeply, it failed to quell the director's anger as he shouted, "Concentrate a bit, focus." Kong pondered, with the director shouting like that, how can anyone concentrate? Suddenly, he heard Se Young-hyun calling his name. Kong was startled by the surprise and nervously asked, "Senior, when did you arrive?" Se Young-hyun teased relentlessly, "What's with these clothes, are you playing a prince?" Kong still appeared quite flustered in front of his senior, These clothes have received good feedback from the audience." After Se Young-hyun's casual remark, "Well, I didn't say they were bad," he stared directly at Kong, reinforcing his belief. What she said is true, he's someone who likes to joke around and then stop, enjoying startling others. Se Young-hyun voiced his curiosity, "But why does the atmosphere on set seem odd?" Kong, standing beside him, quickly responded, "Oh, it's because a supporting actor keeps messing up, causing delays in filming, so the director is reprimanding them." This caught Se Young-hyun's attention, prompting him to urgently call out to the director, "Hey!" The director, upon seeing him, smiled, "Se Young-hyun, why are you here at Group B set?" He immediately replied cheerfully, "I just passed by to support everyone. Also, I've ordered a coffee truck outside, so everyone can take a break." The director, feeling uplifted and relieved from the tension, exclaimed, "Thank you, Se Young-hyun." Then he quickly announced to the crew, "Everyone, Se Young-hyun has ordered a coffee truck, so let's take a break for a while." Kang's eyes began to sparkle with admiration. Indeed, Senior is truly at the peak. Se Young-hyun scanned the area for Sura and found her diligently instructing her co-star, offering them a handkerchief and continuous encouragement. This sight made Se Young-hyun involuntarily smile softly. As the afternoon wore on, thanks to the coffee truck Se Young-hyun ordered, the atmosphere on set became less tense. In Sura's office, she could be heard sighing, "Seriously, how did you know to come at the perfect time? Anyway, it was getting quite tiring, I was about to ask for a break." Se Young-hyun chuckled and spoke first, "To stop you, right? You're going to blame it on your Sunday again, aren't you?" Sura candidly shared, "She reminds me a lot of my past self." The look in her eyes was filled with sadness as she remembered those times. "Receiving comfort back then was a great strength for me, so I want to comfort others in the same way I was comforted." "You must be surprised to hear this." Se Young-hyun looked at Sura with deep compassion, then quickly changed the subject, "Speaking of which, I didn't see Jin Kyung today." Sura quickly replied, "She's back home for her mom's birthday celebration." "Sunbae, try this, it's homemade and delicious." Seeing him feign annoyance, "Who gave it to you?" made Sura almost laugh. "Not a man, just a female student fan, so don't look at me with those dagger eyes." Se Young-hyun's expression changed, "All right, I'll enjoy it then." She bashfully took a bite, then widened her eyes, urging, "Sunbae, aren't you going to eat? It's really good." He gave a secret hand signal, making Sura feel confused, then shyly refused, "No, we can't. What if someone comes in and sees us sitting together?" Se-Young-hyeon grinned mischievously, "If you're worried about that, shouldn't we just lock the door?" She grew even more anxious. If they come in and see the door locked, it'll be even more suspicious. Anyway. She inched closer to Se-Young-hyeon, her mind racing with thoughts. Sometimes Sunbae acts as if he doesn't care whether things get exposed or not. Today, he didn't mention whether the filming location was Kangwon or anywhere else, so why did he suddenly appear here? I wish I had checked myself in the mirror before meeting him. Lost in her thoughts, she suddenly shouted, wait a minute, this is too close." He even leaned in and whispered in Sura's ear, "Before going to Kangwon, I wanted to look at you a bit more." Flustered, she responded, "Like this? You can see me already?" Laughter from the office ahead startled her, and she held her breath until the sound faded, then let out a sigh of relief. Contrary to her, Se-Young-hyeon showed no fear and continued, "You're trembling, and your heart is pounding." Mine had already exploded before, then gently kissed Sura's hair, making her extremely embarrassed. He had always been straightforward, but lately, he seemed to be losing his sense of embarrassment more and more. At this rate, I won't be able to keep my heart in check, Sura thought to herself. After sharing a sweet kiss, fearing what might happen next in the office, Sura quickly pushed Se-Young-hyeon away and whispered, "No, we can't." "Why here?" Se-Young-hyeon, always a cunning fox with many sly tricks, pleaded earnestly, "If I go to Kangwon, I won't see you for 3 more days." Sura's resolve was quickly weakening. Normally, people have to keep their rationality, but no matter how hard she tried to resist, it didn't work with him. "Please, let's just eat some cake." Her feeble resistance only strengthened Se-Young-hyeon's determination. Holding Sura in his arms, he whispered, "I am eating," then continued to approach her fervently. The feeling of being apart for days made them cling to each other tightly. Sura's fears gradually faded in the face of Se-Young-hyeon's difficult-to-refuse advances. His bold expressions made her incredibly embarrassed. Despite this, resistance at that moment was impossible. Sura naturally went along with Se-Young, even though their actions in that situation could easily be discovered. Let's switch scenes and think about something else aside from romantic imaginings, everyone. Transitioning. At this moment, Sura was anxiously calling Se-Young-hyeon. "Senior, you arrived in Kangwon safely, right?" He cheerfully replied, "Yes, I just took a shower and now I'm in bed." "I guess you're still on set?" "Yes, it will probably wrap up late." Her answer made Se-Young-hyeon worry and ask, "Where's Jin Kyung today? Did she go to work? How will you get home if it's late?" After hesitating for a moment, Sura responded frankly, "I'm planning to catch a ride with Kong, is that okay?" Se-Young-hyeon, who had been tense, suddenly sighed in relief at her answer, "Of course, and the manager and Mina are coming along too, right?" He quickly added, "Why would you worry about my opinion on something like this? As long as you get home safely, that's what matters." His words reassured her. Then, Sura reminded him, "You start filming at 5 a.m. tomorrow, right? You should get some sleep." The male lead laughed and then concluded, "I'm serious. I'm going to sleep now." Se-Young-hyeon quickly made a suggestion, "I know. Call me when you get home." But she quickly protested, "Who knows when we'll finish shooting, you should just go to sleep." He suddenly came up with an idea, "How about this, I'll turn off my phone ringer and won't take any more calls." This idea left her very confused. "What?" Se-Young-hyeon insisted, "Just remember to call," ignoring her objections. "I won't wake you, I'll just send a text," she replied, but his determined insistence on a call made Sura reluctantly agree. "You're so stubborn, seriously." "Fine, just turn off your phone, okay?" Before ending the call, they didn't forget to say goodbye. "All right, I'll definitely put it on silent, so remember that and hang in there." "I know, get some rest." Se-Young-hyeon smiled happily, then set his PH1 to vibrate and turned up the volume. Feeling somewhat reassured, he began to drift off to sleep. Despite being quite tired, he still clung to his phone. As expected, the shoot wrapped up around midnight. Before heading to her room, Sura didn't forget to say goodbye. thank you for bringing me home. Thanks to you and everyone else, I got home safely. He kept urging her, it's nothing, today must have been really tiring. Go inside and rest. Hearing this, she happily nodded, yes, you take care on your way back too, Kong. Get home safely. After they left, she started to complain, I'm home, but I feel completely exhausted and too lazy to remove my makeup. Oh right, Senior told me to call him when I got home, but I really don't want to wake him when he's tired. But that man, if I don't call him, he will almost certainly get upset. Thinking of this, an idea suddenly popped into Sura's head, that's it. I'll pretend to call, but hang up right away, leaving a missed call. That way, if he asks, I have a reason, I called, but you didn't answer, Senior. As she walked up the stairs, Sura focused on her phone screen and dialed Se Young-hyun. Suddenly, her eyes widened in shock. Unbeknownst to her, her worried boyfriend had already answered with a concerned tone, are you done? Hello? But Sura didn't respond. Se Young-hyun, now more worried, sat up abruptly. Sura, can you hear me? He called out, but all he could hear was faint background noise. He overheard a voice saying, is that right? It's Kong Se Young-hyun, that bastard again. Realizing she might be in danger, his worry intensified. He kept calling out to her but received no response. In a moment of clarity, he knew he needed help. At the Wangsu residence, the phone rang incessantly. Wangsu, groggy from sleep, answered, yeah, Se Young-hyun. What's going on at this hour? On the other end, Se Young-hyun's voice was urgent, brother, I'm sorry for waking you, but please go to Sura's place right away. I need your help. I have a bad feeling. Wangsu asked, what's happening? Is Sura in trouble? He quickly got an answer that stunned him, it seems like Kim Chong-gu has shown up. What the hell, that psychopath? Wangsu exclaimed, now fully alert. Se Young-hyun, still desperate on the phone, pleaded, I can't reach Sura's phone anymore, so please get there immediately. Help her for me. Wangsu hastily got out of bed while trying to reassure him, I got it. I'm heading there now. Listen, Se Young-hyun, no matter what happens, I'll keep Sura safe, so don't worry and stay put for updates. You only have 3 hours left of filming, right? By the time you're done, the situation should be resolved. Don't escalate things. Do you understand? Despite Wangsu's efforts to calm him down, Se Young-hyun couldn't be stopped and was already rushing back. Wangsu could only helplessly yell, why aren't you answering? Don't tell me you're already on your way, Kong Se Young-hyun. At this point, Se Young-hyun was speeding down the road at a breakneck pace. On the stairs, the accusatory voice echoed, you and that bastard turned me into this. That bastard is so good at keeping you away from me. Now look, it's just the two of us. This should be fun. Sura could smell the strong stench of alcohol on him, and she didn't hesitate to shout, what now? Shut your mouth full of nonsense and get lost. Before I scream. Chong-gu, shameless as ever, brazenly challenged, go ahead. Try screaming. Unlike you, I'm already here, so there's nowhere else to fall. Rolling down alone is quite lonely now this is fun, he said with a sinister tone. Seeing the disgust in her eyes, he feigned innocence, can't do it, huh? Too bad, you just started enjoying a bit of fame. How could you let it all go to waste now, right? Hearing this, Sura's voice grew harsh, so why are you here? Do you have more to say? Chong-gu suddenly lost his composure, trembling as he continued, Wang Sura, you and that guy, his whimpering state made her truly frightened. Chong-gu stepped closer, stammering, you. He then bowed his head, suddenly furious, and shouted, did you sleep with that bastard Kong Se Young-hyun? Did you really sleep with him? Answer me, I asked if you slept with that bastard. Every word he spat out, uttering her senior's name, dripped with vile contempt, making it all the more despicable. He then let out a disgusting smile and continued, it's true, you must have slept together. That bastard, with Kong Sung-hyun's top-tier status, he wouldn't miss a chance with you. He hadn't finished his sentence when he was stunned by Sura's fierce resistance. If you keep threatening me, I will call the police. Even if my reputation takes a hit, I will make sure you end up in jail, she declared, her voice unwavering. He continued to stare at her, then burst into laughter. Wang Sura has grown up a lot, hasn't she? With a steadfast boyfriend, you seem so imposing. You've always hated a piece of trash like me, haven't you? So this act of nobility is just for you. In the end, you're no different from me. Faced with Changgu's taunts, Sura could only sigh in exasperation before offering a contemptuous smile. Is that so? Senior Se-young gave me a chance, didn't he? But the one who created that opportunity, the one who seized it and improved my own abilities, is me. I don't know why you haven't achieved anything. Her words struck a nerve, and he shook Sura violently, shouting, "Damn it! Say that again, what do you know?" His aggression terrified her, and she screamed, "Let go of me! I said, let go of me!" Changgu, undeterred, continued his taunts. Why regret it now? Should have asked Kang Se-young for help, huh? Let's see how long you can run. Yeah, it'll be perfect. Where's your phone? Call that bastard here so I can tear off his mask. As he grabbed her phone, he exclaimed, "Got it. Here it is. Why won't this thing open?" Realizing she had a chance to escape, Sura ran, but Changgu quickly pursued her. Where do you think you're going? Her eyes were wide with fear as he caught her again. She screamed, "Let go," and struggled to free herself from his grip. In the chaos, she lost her balance as his grip slipped, and she tumbled down the stairs with a loud crash. Changgu, now panicking, watched in horror as Sura lay at the bottom of the stairs. Her eyes fluttered open slightly at the sound of frantic calls. "Miss Sura, are you okay?" At that moment, two men were chatting quietly on the sidewalk. When Sura saw them, she exclaimed joyfully, "Mr. Wang Su, how did you get here?" His voice was still panicked. "The important thing is, are you hurt?" Changgu stood by, patiently observing their exchange. "I'm fine," she replied. "Damn it, where are you hurt? Are you in pain anywhere?" Wang Su asked urgently. "My ankle hurts," she admitted. "Don't move for now," Wang Su reassured her, glancing at Changgu. "I'll handle the situation here and then take you to the emergency room." As he began shouting, he noticed Changgu trying to escape. "Damn it, where do you think you're going? Stop right there." Changgu quickly got into his car and sped off, mumbling frantically to himself, if I get caught, it's over. This time, if I'm caught, it's really the end." In his panic, he imagined hearing Sura's voice. "Changgu Appa." He could almost see her sitting beside him, smiling seductively and calling out, "Changgu Appa." Distracted, he glanced over to the passenger seat and whispered to himself, "Wang Sura." The speed of his driving disrupted the quietness of the midnight air. "Almost home, want to drink a bit more?" one of the men suggested. "Sure," the other replied. Their conversation was suddenly interrupted by the sight of a car speeding past. Both of them turned their heads, looking bewildered. "What was that? Do you think that car is all right?" "Probably a drunk guy who likes speed." But just a second later, their expressions changed to shock. "This isn't good, we need to call the police right away." Changgu's car had crashed into a large tree. The next morning, at the headquarters of the media company, voices could be heard echoing through the halls. "Hey, you over there!" Wang Su continued his reminders. "Stop just sitting there and get moving. Thanks to you, I'm facing a major issue at work." He grumbled, what kind of person, in this state, taking just a 2-hour break? Seeing that Se-young still had no intention of responding, Wang Su resigned himself to monologue. "No, something's not right. It's probably because of Sura's injury. Of course, it's thanks to that, but still. In any case, everyone's focus is over there, so it's wise to temporarily withdraw the filming location and rest." Wang Su quickly went to the film crew to request a schedule change, much to everyone's concern. Before that, Wang Su had taken Sura for a checkup and was relieved when the doctor informed them, she isn't seriously injured, so there's no need to worry too much. With proper rest, she'll recover soon. Wang Su kept reassuring Se-young, the film we shot earlier was excellent, so there won't be any obstacles to broadcasting. As for Kim Changgu, the madman fled recklessly and ultimately crashed his car into public property. He refused to take a breathalyzer test and assaulted the police, which led to his imprisonment. At the police station, there was a buzz of conversation. There are so many reporters lined up outside, hoping to cause a stir and write their stories. The son-in-law of Congressman Mun, right? But he's divorced now, just recently. One of the officers sneered at Changgu. This guy sobered up fast, didn't he? Isn't he supposed to be some noble genius? Well, that's life, you never know what to expect. Wang Su quickly interjected, you've got a hotel, right? Sura's phone is broken, so first, get in touch with Jin Kyung. Unexpectedly, a cold remark escaped Se Young-hyun's lips, forget about him, that lunatic. At the hospital, Jin Kyung brought a spoonful of food close to Sura, teasingly, come on, Sura, say ah. Sura could only smile at the gesture, Uni, my condition isn't so bad that I need to be fed in bed. I just have a bandaged ankle. Despite this, Sura couldn't resist her manager's enthusiasm. Stop talking and just eat. Ah. Jin Kyung encouraged her, that's right, good job. Sura's cheerful expression faded slightly, but I'm sorry, you know. It's so unfortunate that this happened and caused you trouble. She didn't expect the manager's indignation in return. Why are you apologizing? I should be the one apologizing for not being there with you yesterday. That damn lunatic, if I had known, I would have killed him myself. Jin Kyung's eyes sparkled with a sudden idea, wait, hold on, it's not too late now. Sura, alarmed by Kyung's outburst, quickly intervened, calm down, Uni. Don't waste your energy on someone like him. Finally, the manager began to cool down, you're right. Mentioning him at all is too much, a waste of energy. Despite her cheerful facade, Sura couldn't help but think, every time I remember the name Kim Changgu, I feel disgusted and nauseous. I never want to have anything to do with him again. Jin Kyung suddenly looked at her and asked, speaking of which, why haven't we heard from Se Young-hyun yet? I already informed him. Sura replied to her manager dismissively, yes, he'll probably call soon. She thought to herself, perhaps he's struggling to control his anger. Even though he's trying to act like everything's fine, he might be afraid to show his uncontrollable rage when he hears my voice or sees my bandaged leg. So maybe he's somewhere alone, trying to calm down, right, Sunbae? After finishing her thoughts, she began to speak playfully to her manager, so, I can't go to the bathroom by myself? Jin Kyung responded firmly, of course not. Until your injury is fully healed, don't even think about getting out of bed. I'll take care of everything for you. At the police station in the late afternoon, after coming out of the bathroom, Changgu looked around nervously and muttered, damn it, even the cops follow me to the bathroom. They should at least take off these handcuffs. This is insane. I can't remember anything from last night, and now I'm in a detention center. How did this happen? And I think I vaguely saw Wang Sura. How could that be? He was still deep in thought when he suddenly heard a voice, you're clever, aren't you? The voice made Changgu jump in shock, what the hell? Why is it that bastard? Another voice echoed, you know it well, don't you? Changgu was startled and turned around, yelling, what? He saw Se Young-hyun standing behind him, who continued, your situation speaks for itself, doesn't it? Changgu's face turned pale with fear, what? How did you know I was here? You try laying a hand on me. Se Young's anger flared as he responded, I told you to behave, didn't I? He then slapped Changgu hard across the face. Meanwhile, Sura, who had been sleeping soundly, suddenly woke up with a start, did I fall asleep? She gently asked her manager, what time is it now? The answer, 8 o'clock, made her eyes widen in surprise. She then noticed that Se Young-hyun was lying next to her, having arrived unnoticed. Feeling flustered, Sura asked hesitantly, Sunbae, when did you get here? Before he could answer, he pulled her back down to the bed, gently holding her and whispering, go back to sleep. But her curiosity made her persist, when did you get here? And where is Jin Kyung? He looked at her with affectionate eyes and replied, about an hour ago. Jin Kyung has already left. Hearing this, Sura felt reassured and teased, Sunbae, you always show up out of nowhere, no matter where it is. Do you know some kind of teleportation magic? Se Young-hyun smiled softly without answering. She pouted and said, if that's the case, then you're just teasing me, right? This made Se Young-hyun feel a pang of guilt, if only it were true. I'm sorry for not being able to be there with you in those crucial moments. In her heart, Sura understood subtly that he knew not to ask about what happened. This only made her more grateful and moved by the feelings Sunbae had for her. She stared intently at Se Young-hyun, making him feel overly confident. What is it? Am I too handsome? He then hugged his beloved tightly and affectionately called out, my lady. After a moment of silence, Sura whispered, actually, you're the one who worries me. Because of me, your schedule got disrupted. Se Young-hyun looked at her and reassured her, it's not your fault, don't think like that anymore. Still teary-eyed with emotion, she heard Se Young-hyun whisper, Sura, until you find a new place, would you like to stay at my house? His proposal left her stunned, unable to stop her thoughts. Living in that house, would I be living with Sunbae? Afraid that Sura would refuse, he hurriedly explained further, lately, since you've been staying at the hotel, Jin Kyung has had to take you back every time. And compared to the hotel, my house is much safer. Realizing she had misunderstood, she felt a pang of embarrassment. I thought he meant living together, seriously, don't be so vague next time. Coming back to her senses, Sura straightforwardly refused, no, it would inconvenience Jin Kyung. Besides, I wouldn't dare go to Sunbae's house, it's not appropriate. Plus, the press knows my face clearly now. She then snuggled closer to Se Young-hyun comfortably. His next words were like honey to her ears, but I can't rest easy, I can't leave you alone. Knowing that Se Young-hyun was truly worried for her, she hastily reassured him once more, how could I be alone? I have both Jin Kyung and you, such a reliable Sunbae. After that, Sura took the initiative to place a deep kiss on her lover's lips, accompanied by the affirmation, thanks to that, I don't feel scared at all. Se Young-hyun had no other choice but to smile gently, of course, it has to be that way. In her heart, Sura was still grateful, I'm really lucky to have my senior by my side. Being able to be with him, I'm truly happy with that. At this moment, the filming set was also being recorded. Hello, everyone, I am Kim Jina from Entertainment News. Today, I am present at the filming set of Group B, shooting the final episode of the drama The Line. This is the most popular drama at the moment. Here, the show has gathered actors Wang Sura as Juwon and Kong Lee as Cheon, the standout couple in The Line. Surely, the two actors here have felt the whirlwind of excitement, haven't they? Sura cheerfully responded to the host, I've been living on set all this time, so I haven't felt it yet. Maybe I'll feel it when I return home tomorrow. An unexpected question from Gina, oh my, I wonder if the fans have noticed, but it seems the actors will have to go with bodyguards? Sura quickly responded, to that extent? Really? This made her silently happy, great. Although the unexpected question wasn't on the prepared list, I managed to answer very briefly. A big step for me, Wang Sura. The host then turned the question to the other actor, Actor Kong, since today is the last day of filming, you must have mixed feelings, right? While he confidently replied, maybe it's because Group A hasn't finished yet. Until a film wraps up, that's when I'll feel sad. But for now, I'm still happy. Sura was focused on recalling her prepared response, in the future, I promise to continue doing my best to complete all my assigned roles with a variety of expressions. It's starting to get cold now, so I hope our dear viewers dress warmly to avoid catching a cold. She was so focused on memorizing her response that she didn't pay attention to the next question Kim Jina asked. Oh, that reminds me, not long ago we conducted a survey about the couple in the drama that fans want to see become a real-life couple. You two were the most voted, did you know that, Sura? Upon hearing this, she exclaimed loudly, really? In her mind, Sura was filled with confused thoughts, this question is completely unexpected. How should I respond? It's an honor, thank you for the audience's support. The result is of course not, what should I do? If I just respond lightly, really, it would be awkward and waste time. Just when she thought the situation was hopeless, Kong unexpectedly came to her rescue, really? It's truly an honor. What do you think? How about we try dating once? His seemingly innocent remark, how about we try dating once, truly made Sura extremely grateful for his timely save. Sura managed to regain her composure and replied, "Oh my, Kang's words, I almost thought it was real." Although he was just joking, Kang's serious remark, "Yes, really," made her pale as she thought, Kang has gone a bit too far. She quickly covered it up, "I will need some time to think about that." Even the host enthusiastically played along, "It feels like you two are becoming a real couple. If you start dating, you must let the entertainment news know first." Kang quickly laughed, "That's up to the company's decision." Kim Jina cheerfully responded, "That's right, your company's representative is Kang Se-young-hyeon, right? So, I should ask for his permission on this matter?" Sura could only force a smile to get through the situation, feeling worried inside, "Please, he can't find out about this interview." The incident of Kim Chong-gu drunk driving and causing an accident had spread everywhere, and a month and a half had passed without notice. As the chilly season arrived, Sura and her sister Kyung suddenly moved to a new house that the company had found for them. Upon arrival, Kyung exclaimed in amazement, "The house is beautiful, isn't it, Wang Sura?" In contrast, Sura felt a bit disappointed. "Although I thought we would move in a short time, I didn't expect it to be this fast," she thought to herself. News about Kim Chong-gu, who had been causing controversy for many days, spread across the newspapers with headlines like, "How much will Kim Chong-gu be fined? Kim Chong-gu caught red-handed vandalizing public property." According to reports, actor Kim Chong-gu was so drunk that he couldn't remember what he had done. Sura had anticipated that he would have a day like this, but those pieces of news eventually faded into oblivion. In fact, with her non-stop work schedule and constant involvement in new projects, Sura had no energy left to pay attention to such news. After the wrap-up party for the line, more schedules kept coming, leaving Sura with very little time to rest. Posters featuring her image were placed in various large and small centers. And then an unexpected message came from Se-young-hyeon, "What time are you coming tonight?" She read the message, feeling elated. Finally, she could see her senior again after 2 weeks apart. Radiant and full of energy, Sura ran over joyfully, calling out, "Senior." Se-young-hyeon opened his arms wide and urged, "Come here quickly." Meeting was difficult, but in that precious moment, she thought to herself that seeing him again felt like it relieved all the accumulated fatigue of the past days. What would it feel like if every day after work I could return to be greeted by his smile? Although it was just a misunderstanding, that image passed through her memory, brief but clear and warm. That thought kept recurring, and Sura gazed lovingly at her beloved, closely observing Se-young-hyeon's face, which radiated a captivating glow. The two began sharing a passionate kiss after days of being apart. Then, what was bound to happen, happened. They moved towards moments of ecstasy in their love. In that instant, she couldn't stop thinking, does he think about this too? Probably. They embraced each other fiercely, filling the void of days spent apart. It was already late at night, and Se-young-hyeon was comfortably stepping out of the bathroom, ready to proceed with his next skincare steps when he suddenly heard someone calling, "Senior." He chuckled when he heard Sura's naive question, "How do I look?" The protagonist asked in surprise, "Is that my shirt?" She replied without hesitation, "Yes, I heard that if a woman wears a man's shirt, the man will find her more attractive." Se-young-hyeon also smiled and responded, "Aren't they usually white shirts?" This made her nervously explain, "That's why I wore a white shirt at first, but it didn't seem to cover much." Se-yoon's teasing gaze and words made her panic, hurriedly trying to cover herself. "No. You pervert." Despite his earnest explanations, "I'm not like that, it's just usually like that." Then, Se-young could only laugh at her adorable gestures, and gently opened his arms to her, "Come here, you need to change into a white shirt quickly. I told you to come here already." After that, he laughed triumphantly when he managed to pull Sura into his arms, while she pretended to resist but not seriously. In that moment, Sura wondered once again, if Senior ever thought about a future with me, even just once, I would be very happy. In the kitchen at this moment, Sura's voice was chirping, "Senior, I want my egg yolks fully cooked, and don't make the noodles too hard." "Got it?" "Got it, I'll make it just like the ones sold in stores, so go to the living room and watch TV while you wait," Se-young replied. She happily agreed to his suggestion, "I'll leave it all to you then." After Sura left, Se-young suddenly realized it had been a really long time since he last cooked noodles like this. He didn't even remember when he last had noodles in the house. Suddenly, he recalled Sura's constant request, "Senior, I'm hungry. Can you cook noodles for me?" Her cute gestures made him smile happily. The image of her running around so familiarly made him feel she was very beautiful in this place. Thinking of this, he glanced softly towards Sura. She was there, watching TV in a very natural manner. Why was she so adorable? Even Sura's action of intently watching the screen puzzled Se-Yun. Why is she staring at the screen so intently? The truth was, Sura was captivated by news about her colleagues. Finally, their love had been made public, and they were together forever. Two entertainment stars had come together as a couple. From now on, let's wish the happy couple a long, happy life together. Se-Young-Hyun heard all of this and stood there, stunned, looking at the one he loved. Finally, the bowl of noodles cooked as Sura's request was ready, and she couldn't stop praising it. "It's delicious, number one. You shouldn't be eating instant noodles at this hour." Se-Young-Hyun's reminder made Sura a bit surprised. "You sound just like my brother." To top it off, Se-Young-Hyun jokingly added, "If you think so, just call me that. On my birthday, you called me that, so why did you come back and take back the gift you gave me?" Hearing this, she immediately showed her annoyance. "I already told you, who gets birthday presents every day of the year? And the number of people who call you Appa, including your fans, is countless. Do you really want to hear me call you Appa that much?" Se-Young curiously asked back, "How are this Appa and that Appa the same that you don't necessarily need to call me Appa? I'm completely different from those people." A program aired next that caught both of their attention. Hello, viewers, I am Kim Jina from Entertainment News. Today, I am at the set of the drama Line by Group B. Recently, the drama has been loved by a large audience. I have gathered here actor Wang Sura playing Ju-ong and actor Kong Lee playing Chio-on. While Sura's face darkened, how could that? Se-Yun, on the other hand, was extremely excited. "Did you film this show?" Worrying thoughts flashed through her mind. No, could they have edited me and Kong Lee into a couple and investigated the most popular on-screen couples too? I had hoped that Senior wouldn't see this program. I never expected it would appear while we are watching together like this. Suddenly startled by Se-Young-Hyun's voice, "Now you can be interviewed without getting nervous, right?" The host's voice echoed in her ears. "By the way, we conducted a survey on which on-screen couple viewers want to see become a real-life couple, and you two were voted number one." "Ms. Sura, did you know about this?" Kang's cheerful demeanor and his words, "Really? I'm truly grateful to the audience. What do you think, would you like to date me?" also was aired. Se-Young-Hyun's expression changed as he heard the conversation between the two. "I'm serious. It's something for you to think about." Along with Gina's enthusiastic encouragement, following this atmosphere, who knows, the two of you might become a real couple, right? Se-Young stared at her urgently. "So have you thought it through?" His forced smile only added to her anxiety. His smiling face seemed too terrifying. Sura immediately explained, "That was just a joke to entertain the audience." Sung-Hyun suddenly growled, "Entertaining, huh?" then quickly complimented her, "That's an outstanding improvisational skill." Despite this, Sura couldn't shake off her worries. "Will I be safe tonight?" The next day, a cheerful gathering took place. It's been a while since the three of them gathered like this, hasn't it? Director Min Se-in continued excitedly. "Since Kang Sung-Hyun started dating Sura, it's been difficult to intrude on this door. If Sung-Hyun, Sura, and Jisoo didn't have time today, when would they meet us, right?" Faced with Sung-Hyun's indifferent attitude, he continued to complain, "At the very least, you should deny it." Upon hearing this, Chang Hoonjo hurriedly replied, "That's right, Sura has been quite popular lately. Now, Sung-Hyun, you must understand my feelings, right? You guys have to appreciate me. After winning a major award in last year's film, because Jisoo was bothered by the media so much, I had to cry out, didn't I?" Suddenly, he remembered an old story and recalled, at that time, Kang Sung-Hyun's response was like this, "No matter who interferes in this relationship, Jisoo always looks very affectionate when she's with you. What are you worried about? If you don't trust each other like this, then why date?" That's right, Chang Hoonjo took advantage of this opportunity to inquire, "So? Do you understand that feeling now?" Sung Hyun didn't hesitate and immediately admitted, yes, I am deeply aware of it. Adding to the warnings from his close friend, just wait, this is just the beginning, made Sung Hyun even more concerned. Of course, dealing with various temptations around is an issue, but when Sura feels the most difficult and there's no one beside her, that's when she becomes the weakest. During busy times like recently, I want to provide her with nourishing food. Understanding his worries, Min Se-in immediately offered a suggestion. Well, if you're worried, you could publicly announce your relationship like Chang Hoonjo did with Jisoo. Chang Hoonjo also expressed his agreement. As someone with experience, I can tell you it's not a small matter. First, you need to come to an agreement with Sura. Min Se-in also immediately added with wisdom, if Sura wants to go public, but hesitates to say it outright, would she say go public if she didn't mean it? Although she's involved, to avoid awkward situations for Sung Hyun, she may not be able to express it. So, go public. Instead, you've been by her side all this time, you understand her mindset, there must have been some hints or suggestions. Se-young Hyun suddenly remembered the second time they discussed this issue. Should we go public? At that time, Sura replied hesitantly, as an actress, I don't want to have such a scandal before establishing myself. People seem quite clever and greed knows no bounds. After hearing the news, he silently affirmed that his lover was considering the idea of going public. Se-young Hyun was about to continue when Chang Hoon and Min Se-in suddenly jerked their heads towards the main door. Is someone else coming? Then, they quickly received the answer from him, oh, it's me calling. This caused both of them to pause for a moment. The person appearing before them was none other than Kong Lee. Feeling awkward, Kong greeted, Senpai. I'm here. Se-young Hyun warmly welcomed him, come in quickly. We really enjoyed that interview program. Kong Lee's face immediately became flustered at those words, hastily explaining, that was just improvisation, really. Se-young Hyun then changed his expression to a serious one, do you really realize your mistake? Kong Lee became extremely scared, only managing to mutter, yes, his eyes pleading for forgiveness. Se-young Hyun almost burst into laughter seeing that. This kid's charm almost saved his life, huh? Then, he immediately made a suggestion, if you really feel sorry, then from now on, just call me Big Brother. Kong was surprised for a moment before hastily replying, yes, sir. Se-young Hyun's icy gaze as he turned back made Kong Lee flinch, what? Don't like it, startling Kong Lee once again, trembling as he said, Big Brother, then continued nervously, I'll absolutely be loyal to Big Brother in the future. If Big Brother doesn't allow it, I absolutely won't dare to do it. Both Chang Hoon and Min Se-in also chimed in, if that's the case, you can call me Big Brother too, and me too, making Kong Lee exclaim excitedly, I'm so happy. Oh, you big brothers! At the women's side, Sura was still silently lamenting, so tired, which made Jin Kyung feel sympathetic, just one more day, hang in there. Tomorrow is Sunday, with no schedule, we can go to the hospital to replenish our nutrition. At the fan signing event and the awards ceremony, you need to be in the best health. Hearing this, Sura happily responded, yes, of course. She also kept reminding herself, because it's the fan signing event and the awards ceremony, this is the most special experience in my schedule. Mina suddenly remembered, come to think of it, this advertising sponsor is going to spend a lot of money, right? How did they come up with the idea to invite all four main characters from the alley? Jin Kyung enthusiastically explained, I heard it's because the chairman is a huge fan of the alley. Since there was still some time before the program started filming, Jin Kyung added, Sura, close your eyes for a moment, sister and I will go out for a bit and come back. Yes, thank you both, she smiled, bidding farewell until the two of them left the room. In a daze, Sura suddenly realized, how can I put it, the warm and soft feeling of the ring makes me feel comfortable like the hands of my senior. Sura couldn't believe she woke up to see Se-young Hyun, who was gently checking on her, are you awake? She immediately smiled happily, when did you come here? So it's been 20 days since we last parted, right? Se-young Hyun nodded softly, that's right, lately, your schedule must have been very busy, Wang Sura? Her voice suddenly became tender, I went out so I do have a bit of stomach ache, which made Se-young Hyun feel sorry, that's right. From now on, I'll tell Wang Su not to schedule anything for you, even if I have to threaten him, if it's about your stomach ache. Sura chuckled as she sat up. If you don't do that, I won't accept any schedule. From tomorrow until the award ceremony, on that day, I also have a fan signing event. Se Young-hyun didn't forget to remind her, then take advantage of the rest time, eat a lot, I don't like seeing you skinny. She became teary-eyed with emotion, nodding in agreement, then made a suggestion, that's why I said I wanted instant noodles that you cooked. Quickly, Se Young-hyun brushed it off, you have to eat nutritious food, not instant noodles. Faced with Sura's strong resistance, he insisted, I want instant noodles, instant noodles. Se Young-hyun maintained his firm attitude, no. You have to eat ginseng chicken soup, he said. I'll eat both. Sura declared. This girl, that's so. Se Young-hyun's affectionate tone made her very happy. It's been so long since I've been called like that, I'm extremely happy. Do it again, just once, that's so, this girl. Like that. Come on, call me that again. Se Young-hyun pretended to be annoyed, I hate it, I'm not going to do it. But he felt powerless against Sura's pleading, why not? Come on, do it quickly. Just once more. Finally, he couldn't resist any longer and quickly broke into a bright smile, stepping closer towards her.